네, 여러분 안녕하십니까? 지금부터 제3회 중학생 영어 토론대회 결승전을 생방송으로 중계해 드리겠습니다. 올해로 세 번째 열린 이번 대회, 치열하게 예선을 치르고 결선에 오른 두 팀이 있는데요. 찬성팀은 일 레모네이터 팀, 또 반대팀은 아드레날린 팀입니다. 이번 대회 누가 우승할지 벌써부터 기대가 되는데요. 먼저 오늘 중학생 영어 토론대회 결승전 도움 말씀 주실 분 소개해 드리도록 하겠습니다. 지난달 제4회 고등학생 영어 토론대회에서도 좋은 말씀 주셨던 분이죠. 한국외국어대학교 통번역대학원의 정철자 교수님이십니다. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
네, 이번 중학생 영어 토론회, 고등학생 영어 토론회보다 더 열기가 치열한 것 같아요.
예, 아주 대단했습니다.
네.
그 지원자 수 쪽으로도 너무 많아가지고요. 원래는 하루 예선하고 하루 본선하려고 했던 거를
네.
예선을 이틀에 늘려서 진행해야 됐었습니다. 그래서 금요일 75개 팀, 토요일 81개 팀에서 총 156개 팀이 이번 대회에 참가를 했습니다.
네, 그렇군요. 총 468명이 이제 예선전에 시작을 했는데요. 이번에는 그러면 최종 결승전 주제는 이미 결정이 돼 있지 않습니까?
예,
그 주제에
예.
대해서 좀 소개를 해주시겠어요?
예, 저희 결선 주제는 한 달 전에 공지가 됐는데요.
네.
한국 정부는 국가 통합 DNA 데이터베이스를 구축해야 된다라는 주제로 결승을 이제 벌이게 되겠습니다.
네, 중학생 토론 대회지만 주제의 난이도가 만만치 않은 것 같은데요.
예.
네.
학생들 실력도 아마 고등학생 못지않게 아주 출중할 것으로 기대를 하고 있습니다.
이번 토론 대회도 이제 의회식 토론 대회를 열리지 않습니까?
예,
짧게
예.
좀 설명을 해주시겠어요?
예, 저희 대회가 지금 채택하고 있는 의회식 토론 대회는 1인 그 개별 발언이 아니라
네.
3명이 한 팀을 이루어서 찬성팀과 반대팀으로 서로 이제 의견을 주고받으면서 토론을 벌이는 형식이 되겠습니다.
네. 고등학생들 같은 경우는 이제 발언 시간이 한 8분씩 주어졌는데요. 중학생들은 6분씩 주어지죠.
예, 연령도 좀
네.
낮고 토론 그 연습이라든지 기회가 적었을 거로 저희가 가정을 하고 1인당 6분 해서 좀 2분이 짧죠. 그리고
네.
마무리 발언도 6분이 아니라 3분으로 줄였습니다.
그렇군요.
예.
그래서 이제 처음에는 찬성팀에서 먼저 연사가 나와서 얘기를 하고요. 그러니까 이제 6분 얘기를 하고 들어가면 이제 반대팀이 나와서 얘기를 하는 그런
예,
식으로
맞습니다.
이제 진행이 될 텐데요. 네, 그럼 이제 잠시 뒤면은 그 일 레모네이터 팀, 아드레날린 팀의 이제 결승전을 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 이번 결승전의 주제는 정부가 국가종합 DNA 데이터베이스를 구축해야 한다라는 그 주제로 얘기를 할 텐데요. 먼저 찬성팀의 얘기를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 총 3명으로 구성이 되어 있는데요. 네, 그럼 현장으로 한번 가보도록 하겠습니다.
Ladies and gentlemen, today Korea is facing a very big dilemma. Ladies and gentlemen, throughout the years, the crime rates have been increasing. The cruelty of the crimes committed have been increasing, such as we can see from the cases of Kang Ho-jun or Kim Gil-tae. And ladies and gentlemen, we believe that as the government, it is the government's duty to institute such a policy to be able to protect the national interest of citizens and the security of the citizens in general. And therefore, we're very proud to propose the compilation of a comprehensive DNA national database for all Koreans. Now, first of all, I'd like to start my speech by first defining the motion and giving our policy. First of all, we believe that the DNA database should be kept at the National Forensic Service, the NFS. And second of all, we believe that it should only be accessible upon request when there is actually a crime that is committed that requires DNA scanning. And third of all, we believe that direct access by the prosecutors or by the police force should be prohibited. Fourth of all, we believe that everyone should be in the national database to be able to maximize this efficiency. And lastly, we believe that the DNA information will be collected in a way that keeps the dignity of the contestants the most, such as the method of using cotton swab. And ladies and gentlemen, our government side has 3 arguments to support us in our stance. First of all, the need for this policy. Second, the government role and why the government should implement this policy. And third of all, the maximization of police resources. I, as the Prime Minister, will talk about the first 2 arguments. The Deputy Prime Minister will talk about our third argument. Now, moving straight on to the arguments of the need. Ladies and gentlemen, as I have stated in my introduction, we are seeing through the years a rise in the heinous crimes and the cruelty of the crimes. And ladies and gentlemen, this has been proven by cases of Kang Ho-sun and Kim Il-tae. And we're seeing that the criminals are mocking our judicial system even. Ladies and gentlemen, there was a case of Kim Jong-bo who said he was a witness, who came on national television, and he was later found to be actually the criminal. And ladies and gentlemen, we're seeing this dramatic increase of heinous crimes even in youth also. And ladies and gentlemen, we believe that this is a big threat to the national security of Korea, and the safety of the people is in dire danger. And now we believe that under the current government administration and the government policies regarding police force, the police force are not effectively utilized in the sense that, first of all, the Suwon incident where the police arrived very late at the incident, and we believe that there is a dire need for upgrade in the police force and the government-regulated searches for the police, and therefore we see a direct need for this policy inside Korea's situation now.
Sure, sir.
Yes, madam?
We believe that if you have the money to spend in making national DNA databases, you should use the money in properly training the police so that they won't be late at the crime scene.
These two policies are not mutually exclusive, first of all. And second of all, yes, the police force is important, but we should also use the benefits of science that it has provided us if we require it. Now, moving on to the second argument, no, madam. Now, moving on to the second argument about the role of the government. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe that the government has a duty to protect its citizens. And the top priority of the government should be the national security and the protection of the citizens. And we believe that if the government has the technology to do so, if the government has the technology to maintain such a database, which it is already doing in case of sex offenders and
Sure, sir.
criminals, no, thank you, madam, then it should do what it can do, and that by not doing everything it can to promote national security and the safety of citizens, the government is not fulfilling its role as a government in our society, ladies and gentlemen. And we believe that if a government should be the legitimate government, a responsible government, it should be a government that does everything it can to protect the national security of the citizens and the lives of the citizens, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I would like to move on to the second subpoint about why the government interference is just. Ladies and gentlemen, there is something called the hierarchy of rights. And ladies and gentlemen, the rights we're trying to promote, such as the rights to security, the rights to life even, is far superior than the rights to privacy or rights to any kind of bodily autonomy. And ladies and gentlemen, we believe that if some citizens, yes, madam?
Please prove why this actually has a direct effect on the safety and helps save lives. Then you can promote this hierarchy of rights like yours.
Well, it's going to be later elaborated in the Deputy Prime Minister's speech, but I'd like to say it a little before since they have requested it of us. We believe that this is very effective in, first of all, the solvency of crimes, and second of all, that it'll deter crimes because of its high solvency and high detection rate. And criminals will be discouraged from committing crimes, and therefore will be able to promote national security and peace. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we believe that this is a necessary sacrifice of the individuals if they were to enjoy the benefits of this policy, which is better improve national security. And ladies and gentlemen, we believe that for the national security, every individual must have a duty to ensure that the government has their personal information if it means that it is ensuring security. And ladies and gentlemen, we're already giving government our personal information. Ladies and gentlemen, we see NICE. We see policies such as NICE being enacted there with no problem. And we believe, ladies and gentlemen, if we're letting government keep our academic records, which is not as important as national security for this matter, which is not as important as the saving of lives for the people, we believe that it is an unjust and an irresponsible government to say that we will not promote national security and peace when we have the technology to do so, and when we are at this dire situation right now where this policy is in dire need. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, because of the need for this policy, because that this policy is justified, and that because we see already government regulating personal information, we believe that we are proud to propose today. Thank you.
네, 이렇게 해서 국어원우 학생의 연설을 들어봤는데요. 교수님 어떻게 보셨습니까?
예, 그 주제에 있어서 사실 그 어려울 수 있는 부분이 한국 정부가 이 지금 국가통합 DNA 데이터베이스를 구축해야 한다 할 때 베이스를 어떤 방법으로 구축할 거냐, 어디에 할 거냐는 것까지 잘 정리를 했습니다. 네. 그리고 지금 범죄가 증가하고 있지 않냐 하는 거를 구체적으로 뭐 강호순, 김길태 사건을 들면서 네. 그 심각성을 잘 이야기를 했는데요. 아주 강하게 입장을 잘 제기를
Ladies and
했습니다.
gentlemen, it
반대팀은
is not
어떻게
the duty
얘기할까요?
of a
들어보죠.
citizen to allow the government to infringe upon their bodily integrity, to infringe upon their right to privacy, and also endanger them by putting all the information of DNA that they can on a national basis, which we have already seen in the past has been hacked by individuals and exposed to the community. Therefore, we believe that a national level DNA database does nothing to improve the status that we have nothing to improve the status of security that we have in Korea today, but only imposes a threat against citizens. And we cannot allow this to happen, unless we want a dictating government in society. Therefore, we have 4 arguments in this debate today. The first argument is about exposing the civilians to more dangers of information leakage. The second argument is about breaching basic human rights. The third argument is about the ineffectiveness in promoting public security. And the last argument is about giving the government too much power over the civilians. Moving on to the first argument, we believe that that the incidents where the Blue House of Korea was hacked by an individual and the confidential governments being exposed to society, and also the case of the White House of the USA also being hacked and the hackers posting this information, the confidential documents on the internet blog, and allowing millions of civilians and other people to access. We believe that these incidents literally proved that the government has no authority to keep these documents confidential, and that the citizens' trust to the government of keeping their personal information safe was also destroyed. We believe that the Korean government is currently struggling to keep the security of the information that they're handling right now, yet the government team comes up here with no proof of how they will keep this information secure and safe. They believe that the government has a justification to collect this information and use it against citizens. We believe that this is very illogical. No, thank you. You want to collect the information of how people look, what type of diseases that they might have, whether you might have a gene that is known to cause mental illness or not, and who knows what other type of information that could be included in DNA information. We believe that because of these reasons, the United Kingdom, which was the first country to start the DNA database, the government has already admitted that this type of information can fall into the hands of the unauthorized and the evil people. And the judges of the UK Judicial Court have made the decision that keeping this information is not a necessary step for the government to take in a democratic society. Moreover, these people could use the information. Yes.
We believe that DNA is not just this sacred information that every people have. You shed it basically everywhere. If one person wanted to collect your DNA, they could do so very easily.
We are not here to debate on the sacredness of DNA information. We are here to debate on whether or not the government collecting the information and taking it into a national security database. We believe the government team did not give us any proof on how they will keep this information secure. They did not give us any proof how this will directly lead to increasing public security and helping the citizens. We believe that it does quite the opposite, actually going against citizens and putting them in a threat. Anyways, to continue elaborating, the voices of destroying DNA records in the government's hands is getting louder. We believe that these people, the unauthorized people, could use the information to widen their scape of clueless victims. For example, hackers and serial killers currently stalk individuals on the internet and take away their personal information, using it to kill and rape or even torture them. We believe that if they can hack the information just through the internet, having a national DNA database and having the past incidents of the government's database being hacked, we believe that there is an even increased danger of citizens being exposed to the dangers of these hackers and serial killers. Now, moving on to the second argument, we believe that the basic rights of civilians are also breached. The law clearly states that all citizens are innocent before the law until they are proven guilty. However, this policy is making every single Korean person a suspect, no thank you, of a crime, imposing a threat to every citizen whenever there is a crime anywhere in the country. The purpose of the law was to keep the judicial decisions fair and protect the suspects and the citizens all alike. And likewise, you cannot infringe a person's bodily integrity or right to privacy or any other right unless they have committed a crime, which we see that the majority of citizens have not committed. The DNA database is making every single Korean person a suspect of the government, imposing a threat on a government level to these citizens, and we believe that this is not the type of security that a responsible government should be imposing. Not only that, but the bodily integrity of citizens is also infringed very seriously. DNA information contains details of everything that makes you a person, and also, as I have established, the voices against DNA database is getting larger by the day. We believe that if people do not want this, the government has no right to infringe against the bodily integrity, also because they have failed to prove the linkage between between this policy and increasing security and increasing public security, they have no justification. They have no proof that this policy will work. How will the government team handle people who reject submitting their DNA? We would like to ask them, we would like to burden them to answer this question. Will you tape them down and force them to, swab their earlobes? We believe that this is going against the bodily integrity, and also, if you leave them be, you will be going against your whole cause. We cannot allow this to happen. The government team has yet to answer all these questions, and the government cannot take over the citizens' rights to bodily integrity just because they think that this will lead to public security, just because they have not proved to the citizens. We believe that this is an irresponsible government, and therefore we are proud to oppose this motion. Thank you very much.
네, 이렇게 김유진 학생의 발언을 들어봤습니다. 정보 유출의 위협에 대해서 좀 얘기를 많이 했죠?
예. 한국 정부가 이미 민감한 정보 관리에 허술한 면이 드러나지 않았었느냐.
네.
그렇다 그러면 이렇게 중요한 데이터베이스를 어떻게 안전하게 관리할 거라고 믿을 수 있느냐. 영국 정부에서 또 이미 그에 준하는 그런 이렇게 하면 안 된다는 그런 결과를 내렸다라는 걸 실례로 들었네요.
네.
그리고 만약에 거부하는 사람이 있으면 그걸 강제로 집행해야 되느냐 하는 문제까지. 그래서 지금 찬성팀에 많은 질문을 또 다시 던졌습니다.
네, 그럼 이제 또 찬성팀은 여기에 대해서 어떻게 대응을 할까요? 이번엔 심규민 학생입니다. 들어보시죠.
Mr. Speaker, in today's debate, we, as the proposition side, believe that the leader of opposition and probably the opposition side as a whole has misunderstood what our policy and has misunderstood what the policy will bring and the benefits that it will bring. Well, our policy was to put the database, the information of all people's DNA, into NFS, the National Forensic Services, which is a non-government organization. It is not, and we have that in our policy, that it is not going to be freely accessible by every police department. It is not going to be freely accessible by any corrupt government official and whatnot. Their harms, they kept on saying that the Blue House was hacked, the U.S. was hacked and whatnot. But we, on the proposition side, are saying that those were easily hacked because they're sharing their information with many people. They're sharing their information with practically every single CIS department, every CSI department. They're practically sharing their information with every police department, and we do not want that, Mr. Speaker. We do not want to leak the information, and that is what the government also takes into consideration, and therefore we believe our policy disproves that. Now, moving on to the rest of the rebuttals of the leader of opposition, they once mentioned in a POI that we should just use the money in police force. Well, we believe that is not, we should not be doing that at all, Mr. Speaker. Well, we have been doing that for the past several decades, actually. But we believe, no, ma'am, but we believe that even if we have been doing that, there are other benefits that this DNA database will bring, which I will also elaborate further into my argument. But not only that, we could see that just enhancing the funds in the budget towards these police departments is not all. We still see people that are innocent being still sent to the death penalty, and we still see many other harms and many other things that just enhancing the police department does not itself. Therefore, we would like to implement our policy. Now, they also talked about how we're breaching human rights, such as bodily autonomy and whatnot. But however, we cannot stress this further, Mr. Speaker. What we are trying to do is saying that, okay, even if there's a small privacy violation, we believe that a citizen's right to live, a citizen's right to security, no sir, a citizen's right to live a secure and happy life in Korea, we believe that that is much more important than just a cotton swab, Mr. Speaker. Yes.
Please explain why this actually helps with safety when in the status quo we already use DNA extracts from suspects.
Well, we are already using DNA extractions from suspects, but we believe that most of the criminal crimes that happen right now in the status quo is in fact not done by the convicted felons. In fact, that only about 30% of those crimes are ones that are recommitted. And we could see that because there's a large percent of people that are newly creating these crimes, we still have no, ma'am. We still have a duty to also collect the DNA information of all civilians. Now, we believe that we are not forcing, even if we are forcing these citizens to a small extent to give in their DNA information, which we do not believe is completely sacred since we are shedding it everywhere. We believe that every citizen has a duty to participate in the national security of that country, and therefore our policy still stands. Now, I'd like to move on to the last argument of our case, which is about the maximization of police resources. Now, I'd like to divide this into 3 different subpoints. Number 1, how it saves time. Number 2, how it is better at detection. And number 3, how the moral values and how it eliminates the harms of convicting innocent people. Now, no, ma'am. It saves more time in that it could find more suspects and criminals at a much quicker pace, since everyone is already in that database. When we go to when policemen go to a police site, they collect the evidence. They may get search warrants for what they have found and what they should find, and they also since the DNA tests come up with nothing, most of the time, since they come up with nothing, then we go into the special analysts and whatnot, and then we go on to an arduous task of doing this over and over again until we find the suspect, which may not be even the real criminal, Mr. Speaker. Now, instead of doing this, we can put everyone in a DNA database, and we could use that information in step 2 much quicker. We could use that information so we could find the suspects and maybe even the criminals at a much quicker pace. And we believe that this saves time, this saves lives, and this is a better policy as a whole. Now, moving on to the second argument, second subpoint, that this is better at detection. Well, all crimes, you may know from watching even dramas like CSI, all crimes leave evidence. That leftover evidence is there, and we can use it. We have the technology to use it. Yes, yet we do not use it because of maybe some privacy harms that they have. Well, we cannot fully use that useful evidence that we have at hand just because of that privacy argument that they're giving. We have vital DNA information that could track people and help the police team find the actual criminals. And we have information such as hairs and blood and maybe even semen, and we could use that information to help us figure out these crimes. Now, in fact, DNA database hits were very rare incidents until the 1990s, but now we have a system called the U.S. has implemented a system called CODIS, and in fact, since then we have had over 150,000 DNA hits that led to the solving of these crimes, and we could see that because of this, we can have better detection rates. Now, onto the moral values on how it eliminates the harms of convicting innocents. Well, many innocents are in fact convicted to the death row. These people are dying even if they are innocent. And in fact, the 200th person in the U.S. that was exonerated just because of DNA evidence was in 2007. We believe that if the government keeps going on doing this, and there's people dying innocently in death row, more than the 200 by 2007, it goes against the role of the government, and that they have the resources and things to do to ensure the safety of their citizens, but they're not doing that. And therefore, we believe that we have thus taken this debate home. Thank you.
정부가 그 DNA 디베이트 구축함으로인해서 얻을 수 있는 이점에 대해서 굉장히 구체적으로 얘기를 해줬네요.
예, 반대팀에서 그 정보를 어떻게 안전하게 보관 관리할 거냐 하는 거에 대해서 국가수사대라고 할까요? 그거를 설립을 해서 그 기관만 이걸 관리할 수 있도록 하겠다라고 해서 나름대로 입장을 또 냈네요. 그리고 이 데이터베이스가 있음으로 해서 더 정확하게, 더 신속하게 수사를 해서 무고한 희생자를 막을 수 있을 거다라고 하는 그런 예로 자기들의 입장을 다시 한 번 더 공고하게 했습니다.
네, 반대팀의 두 번째 연사 얘기 들어보겠습니다.
Giving information about residence, where you live, about family relations, and we believe that giving more information about personal things, about DNAs, about genes, this is crossing the line, and this is the kind of slippery slope that we as the opposition are trying to prevent in this debate by opposing the preposterous policy of the government, because we believe that giving the government or giving a non-government group these genes, this DNA isn't a small privacy violation. We're giving them all the information about our physical, mental attributes that a person can get. And I'm going to rebut to what the government said. About crime rates and national interest, we believe that national interest depends on if people want this or not. But statistics show that people don't want this. People don't want their rights invaded. People don't want the government to
have this privacy violation, and yes, we agree that the police force is the problem. But the example they gave of the police arriving late, etc., it has nothing to do with DNA, nothing to do with the technology we have now. It's not about technology, it's about whether we use this evidence or not, as they are conceding. And DNA has extreme costs, and we're struggling to train the police better. We're struggling to improve the current system. How can we implement DNA also? We don't have the cost, we don't have the budget to do this. How can we enforce both? So that's why we're arguing for our stance. And we don't believe it's a necessary sacrifice. We don't think it's a duty for citizens to give people this, this ultimate piece of information about yourself. It's DNA. And in South Korea, in a government-citizen relationship, we believe that people don't have the responsibility to give the government, to give any group of people all their physical, mental information that anyone can give. And we'd like to ask the government, how does this save lives? Because this is something we've been wondering, and they haven't been proving throughout the whole debate. For example, like CSI, exactly, we have enough evidence. It's just that we do use this evidence after warrants that justify the use. No, thank you. It's just that we're not using it effectively. This is what we need to change, not implement a new policy about DNA that deprives people of their rights, of their most basic rights in a country like South Korea. And the safety of citizens' rights. Even now, hackers, meticulous, serious murderers are hacking into government files the government have right now, but the NFS, a non-government group, really, this is even worse. It's much easier to hack because they're not as guarded as important government files that the government has right now.
Madam?
No, thank you. And this is the status quo the government aren't seeing. And we believe that DNA is a different piece of information. It's much more ultimate, as the government are emphasizing in this debate. If they can hack into all the information that the government has right now in the status quo, no, thank you, why can't they hack and forge DNA? And we believe that this is a much bigger problem than hacking into government resources now, because it's a major loophole, since DNA shows and links to much more information, much more very personal information from the residence where you live or your family relations, etc. Therefore, we say that their policy requires a stronger backup policy to ensure the security of this information, to ensure that it's secure. This information is going to be secure in the hands of some non-government group that the citizens don't want their information to be in. So thank you.
Madam?
Thank you. This is what the government, this is one of the big things the government has to prove in this debate today that they haven't done yet. And our third and fourth arguments are ineffectiveness, and that it gives the government too much power. Ineffectiveness. In the status quo, crime investigation, the process of determining suspects, criminals with evidence, this arduous task is needed in the status quo. What happens, the government don't seem to understand this, what happens is that we legally investigate the location, the alibis, witnesses, we see everything, the time of the crime, we look at the situation, investigate the specific situation of the past, because that's the key to solving the crime in the first place, and then, and then we make suspects. We narrow our choices down to people likely to have committed crime, and then the police issues warrants which give the police the right to actually investigate them on further extent, and then they are allowed to extract the DNA of suspects to solve the crime scene. See, we already do this in the status quo to solve crimes. It's just that, no, thank you. We don't do it. It's just that we don't want to do it to everyone. We don't want to make everyone a suspect. We don't want to make everyone a future criminal, because that would be criminalizing the whole nation. So we already do this in the status quo, and the final decision is made by the judicial court, which we give a big significant meaning in. If the government thinks that the convicts that we point to today are not the actual convicts like they actually stated, then this policy, their policy, makes it worse. Because exoneration happens now, and how is it different from the status quo? This is another big burden they have to prove. And however, with the government's policy, what will happen is we will lose this thorough legal process to find criminals and suspects. The police will have the government. A different group will have a national pool of DNA information, and they will find the evidence in the crime scene that's linked to DNA first, and with the DNA list, they're going to make a list of suspects, and then they will pick out people from that list. But the very fact is, ladies and gentlemen, anyone can leave a trace of DNA anywhere. There's a higher possibility of an innocent person leaving strands of hair or part of their DNA on a certain road or a certain place than a criminal who was going to commit crime. And even if this criminal wasn't planning to commit this crime, even if the crime wasn't planned out, there's still a high possibility that the criminal, left a DNA or any other pieces of evidence at the crime scene because they weren't as meticulous, because they didn't plan out the crime. So either way, this policy is preposterous, and the process becomes less accurate, less elaborate, less meticulous, and this is what we're not going for in this debate. The second part of this argument is that the real problem, the reason why we see This isn't because we don't have the super technology. It isn't because we have a giant pool of people to suspect. It's other factors of police, lack of discipline, lack of training. If we don't have the cost to do this today, we can't implement this DNA policy. It's not that we lack evidence. It's that we lack the current thorough legal process of investigation should be kept. But with this policy, we're giving the police more power than the judicial court, and that makes the final decision and takes all evidence. And our fourth argument is that it gives the government too power. Although the government says that a non-government group will handle this information, we believe that this is even worse, and especially in a government-citizen relationship, the law regulates this relationship. The power must be balanced. And the DNA database goes overboard with this government power, crosses the line, it invades rights. In relation with my third argument, they will have this final alternate piece of information with the government possessing it. They'll be able to control it. They'll be able to control citizens. They will be over the citizens. It goes against the government-citizen relationship we want to see in South Korea. Therefore, we believe it's very unjustifiable. Thank you.
넘어가면 그때부터는 벌칙이 들어가요.
네, 어떻게 보셨습니까?
예, 지금 이제 반대팀에서는 지금 그 어떤 독립적인 기관을 해서 관리를 하겠다는 충분치 않다라는 거죠.
네.
거기다가 그게 비정부 기관이면 어떻게 그 안전성을 더 확보를 하겠느냐 하는 이야기고요. 지금 현재 경찰 시스템을 오히려 개선하는 걸 해야지 새로운 거 할 필요 없다. 지금 현재 그 용의자 DNA 검사하는 것만으로 충분하지 않느냐라고 지금 찬성팀을 공격을 하고 있네요.
네. 그리고 상대팀에서 질문을 할 때 받지를 않았거든요. 괜찮나요? 이런
네,
경우는?
저거가 이제 사실은 발언을 할 때 하나 내지 두 개 정도 질문을 받아주는 게 유리합니다.
Ladies and gentlemen,
네.
today side government is coming
세
out and
번째
arguing that we must give up
연사의
a
말
larger cost of
들어보겠습니다.
public security over private information, of privacy for individual citizens and their own bodily autonomy. But ladies and gentlemen, we like to argue the fact that the bodily autonomy and personal privacy does not exist when citizens are not secure, when they're not in a safe environment, when their security is not granted in that sense, ladies and gentlemen. We believe that when security is not properly implemented in our society, these people do not get the proper rights that they are arguing for, ladies and gentlemen. So we believe that we must have proper security, more security, much more feasible security in this sense, that we can get much more. And we can protect the body autonomy and the privacy of such of our citizens. Now, we do not. At the end of the day, we do not want criminals in our society slipping away just because we lack the vital information, the vital evidence that will solve the problem, solve the crime, and the key solution to the crime. We do not want innocent suspects to be prosecuted just because we lack the vital solution. Again, the DNA samples, and we do not want. What we want is proper prosecution, justified prosecution, which we need in the society, ladies and gentlemen. And in this debate, there were three major clashes. The first clash being the rights of individual citizens, and the second clash being the effectiveness of this policy, the third clash being the role of the government. Now, in the first clash, the rights of individual citizens, there were two major subpoints to this argument. The first subpoint was the bodily autonomy and the privacy of individual citizens. The second subpoint was the assumption of guilt with this policy being implemented. Now, in the first subpoint, the bodily autonomy and privacy, the side government came out and talked about how the DNA information carries vital information of one's body, such as the information on disease and information on genetic characters. But ladies and gentlemen, the body autonomy and privacy, as we have spoken, does not exist when proper security is not measured. Now, in this case, we're seeing that we believe that the citizens have the duty to take part in national security, to take part in making our society more safe. We're seeing that, we're seeing implementing this policy. Yes, ma'am.
You have not answered our rebuttal about how leaving this DNA information to the NFS, which is a private company, is even more dangerous than having the government control.
No, ma'am. NFS is not a private company. It is not a government organization. It is an independent organization by itself. So that's why we believe it does not have the influence of private companies. It does not have the influence of the police and the government officials. And we believe it is the most neutral organization we can trust in this situation. Now, the individual citizens have the duty to take part in national security in the sense that and national security, ladies and gentlemen. We believe that these citizens do want national security. They do want the security at the face of death, at the face of emergency. And we can see this, and when we call 911, and when we call 911, we can see that they ask our information of where we are or our situations, and we give that information freely to 911 because we see the need. We believe that it is much more important, that our security is more important than the privacy that we are of, than our privacy, ladies and gentlemen. And we believe that is why why citizens actually want this policy, and the citizens actually have the duty to concede to the fact that national security is a much larger cause than just merely private information. Now, in the second point about the assumption of guilt, the side government came around and talked about how that this policy will only mean that our government is assuming guilt of every single citizen. But ladies and gentlemen, this information is mainly used to proving the innocence. Yet no, ma'am. Mainly used to proving the innocence of suspects who were innocent, who did not commit the crime in the first place. And yes, we do believe that every citizen has the chance of every citizen has a chance of being guilty and we believe that our government cannot simply take the risks of risking the lives of our citizens when it comes to national security and when it comes to the security of our citizens and in general, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, we believe that clash has resolved in our victory. The second clash was the... Yes, ma'am.
Please explain us a situation where we don't have any other forms of evidence except the DNA. And even if you don't have any other sources of evidence, then what is the proof that that person with the DNA is actually the person who did the crime?
We believe that we're seeing in many cases that innocent people are being prosecuted just because they lack the information, that they lack the solid evidence against them. We're seeing the DNA evidence is the most solid evidence that we can trust upon. It is no, ma'am. It is right there. It is evidence of the crime scene, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we believe that DNA evidence is the most reliable source of evidence. Now, in the second clash is the effectiveness of this policy. Now, in the prosecution, we're seeing that we can accurately track down suspects and criminals using this policy. Now, side government did not oppose this argument, saying they will not be effective at the end of the day. But what we want, ladies and gentlemen, is proper prosecution. We do not want innocent people going to jail, serving prison time just because they lack the evidence. No, ma'am. And we do not want real criminals slipping away just because we lack the evidence against them. We believe that DNA evidence is solid. No, ma'am. Solid proof when it comes to dealing with many cases. And we're seeing that crime itself is evolving every day, and we believe that we need solid evidence such as DNA to solve such cases. Now, and then the second point about the security of the database. Now, side government argued that we'll see many leakages into information, that these information could be leaked in our government system, which is not properly mandated. Yes, but we are dealing with the NFS, the National Forensic Service. It is an independent, neutral non-governmental organization, and we believe that it will cut off all the influence that private companies and the government can influence on such criminal cases. And we believe that clash also goes into our victory. And the third and last clash is the role of the government. Now, side government argued that the government should not infringe personal rights. But ladies and gentlemen, the crimes are evolving every day. We're seeing criminals using various techniques to improve their improve their crime, and we believe that our government system is simply not following up with that current trend. We believe that the government's prioritization of the rights must be made, and we believe that the right to security, the right to survival of individual citizens must be prioritized in this situation, and ahead of personal privacy. We do not believe that our government should back down just because some citizens believe that they have more right to privacy, and some citizens believe they have more right to bodily autonomy. And we believe that our case stands at the end of the day, and that's why we have taken this debate home. Thank you.
네, 이렇게 해서 찬성팀의 세 번째 연사까지 들어봤습니다. 어떻게 보셨나요?
예, 세 번째 연사는 첫 번째, 두 번째 연사의 발언을 지금 이렇게 마무리하는 것도 있고 좀 더 강하게 이제 주장을 하는데요. 지금 이 찬성팀에서는 치안하고 안보가 어떤 개인의 권리보다 앞서는 그런 어떤 3위 개념일 수가 있다는 걸 굉장히 강조하는 거군요.
네. 이제 반대팀의 마지막 연사의 말 들어보겠습니다.
To what extent are you going to allow these people, the government officials, to look at the private DNA information? And second of all, please give us a situation where you need the DNA evidence, or else you're not going to be able to solve the case in the first place to begin with. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we believe it's either two cases. First of all, you have enough evidence to know who the person is. You just can't find where the person is. No, thank you. No, thank you, sir. Or secondly, ladies and gentlemen, the person did not leave any form of evidence. Therefore, there's a bigger possibility that you can't even solve the crime scene with the DNA evidence because the person is so meticulous, ladies and gentlemen. Who knows whether or not the person left another person's DNA lying around? And another thing to point out in this case is, ladies and gentlemen, innocent people are more likely to leave their hair lying around than a person who is meticulously trying to committed crime. So, ladies and gentlemen, we do not see how DNA database is effective in the first place when in the status quo we already have DNA extractions from people who we believe to be suspects, ladies and gentlemen. Now, thank you, sir. There are 4 clashes in this debate today. First of all, helping with crime deterrence and solvency. Second of all, abuse. Third, rights and privacy. And lastly, the legal process in solving a case. Now, first of all, how it helps with deterrence and solvency. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't help with deterrence or solvency, ladies and gentlemen. The government team keeps on stating that life is important, security is important. Yes, we agree. How does this policy help at least the slightest bit to helping the security and the safety of the citizens? We believe if you really do want to help the security and safety of the citizens, you need more police. You need more police who are actually well trained enough to find the people who are lying around. They already know who committed the crime. They just don't know where they are and where exactly they are at the second, ladies and gentlemen. This does not help with deterrence at all because, ladies and gentlemen, think about it. Criminals will be more meticulous in committing a crime. Ladies and gentlemen, already criminals are leaving a lot of pieces of DNA lying around. For example, their fingerprints.
Madam.
Thank you, sir. Fingerprints. Their faces are on the CCTVs, etc., etc. We actually have a lot of evidence to search who the criminal is, and not only that, ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing is, ladies and gentlemen, in the status quo, we already use DNA extracts for suspects, ladies and gentlemen.
Madam.
Thank you, sir. That is exactly how 200 people in America, more than 200 people, were exonerated after the usage of DNA extracts. We do not need any further information about the whole country's citizens, ladies and gentlemen. The whole country's citizens would include all of us standing here in this debate. We do not want the government taking away our DNA, suspecting that we are actually a part of the crime when we didn't do anything wrong. Be the solvency, ladies and gentlemen. How does this help with the solvency in the first place? You actually need a legal and thorough process, a meticulous process in searching out who is the criminal and who is the victim, and then you search for the DNA evidence, ladies and gentlemen. You do not make a pile of people who are in that spot. Thank you, sir. You do not make a pile of people who are in that spot and then figure out who the suspect is. You make a list of suspects and then figure out who the criminal is through the usage of DNA, which is what we're doing in the status quo. Ladies and gentlemen, look at the concept. Thank you, sir. Look at the concept of warrants, ladies and gentlemen. Warrants. People do not just break into your homes because they think you're a criminal. They look at the evidence. They think that you are a criminal. They make proper suggestions, and the reason they make clear elaborations. Thank you, sir, on the reasons why you may be a suspect, and then they go into your homes and look for evidence. They do not do this the other way around. However, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, sir. The government's logic is based on the fact that you will make a pool. You will have a pool of DNA, and then you will track down who the person is. This is not effective at all because the person who had committed the crime in the first place might not have their DNA lying around, or they may forge another person's DNA. For example, I may take someone else's DNA and then put it in the spot where the crime happened, and etc., etc. We do not understand how the DNA national database helps with solving crimes to begin with. We do not understand, thank you, sir, how this helps saving lives. Saving lives is a totally different issue because it links back to the deterrence effect, which there is no proof of. And then the second clash about abuse, ladies and gentlemen. Can you really say that the people will not hack into this DNA national database, ladies and gentlemen? The UK government already stated officially that they do not have the capability to protect their national information, ladies and gentlemen. Their national information, their security information. They do not even have the capability to protect that. Then how can they protect the database of the citizens, ladies and gentlemen? And what if this leaks, ladies and gentlemen? Isn't there a high possibility of abuse here? Isn't there a high possibility of danger here? Is the government team not seeing the high possibility here? We do not understand how the government can simply think to take out all of the DNA in the country and then make a file of people who they suspect to be criminals. This goes against the legal process and the rights of the citizens. Now, we believe that innocent until proven guilty should stand in the status quo. It should stand in the status quo. Oh, thank you, sir. Because a person has a right not to be suspected until you actually did something wrong, until you are a suspect. So we believe that abuse does have a serious possibility. And third clash about rights and privacy. This severely goes against the person's right to bodily integrity, ladies and gentlemen. You do not have the duty to give the government your DNA, which is one of the most private information of your body. Now, secondly, ladies and gentlemen, under this clash, the EU Court of Justice actually stated that this is a breach of rights. The DNA national database is a breach of rights. That is why in London, in England, in the UK, and other European nations, countries, they do not have the right to make a DNA national database. They were going to, but it was stopped through the courts, and we believe this goes against a lot of laws, such as innocent until proven guilty, self-incrimination laws, which states that you do not have the right to give out your personal information until you are suspected with a warrant, and a lot of basic human rights that a person has, ladies and gentlemen. The last clash about the legal process. Ladies and gentlemen, there needs to be a meticulous, thorough legal process in the status quo today. You need to figure out who committed the crime, and then you need to gather the amount of suspects, and then you need to look at the DNA, which we are already doing the status quo. What we need is not a variety, a pool of DNA. What you need is a careful, thorough policeman who actually does have the capability to find out who the criminal is without any DNA evidence. However, ladies and gentlemen, even if you do not have the evidence, you can actually use the evidence in the status quo, which proves that the government policy is pointless and it is also a breach of rights, which is why we disagree. Thank you.
네, 이렇게 세 번째 연사까지 들어봤습니다. 어떻게
이 세 번째
보셨나요?
연사들은 그 여태까지 토론 중에서 양 팀의 입장 차이를 좀 더 명확하게 하는 게 그 역할이거든요.
네.
지금 보면은 개인의 권리보다 치안 안보가 더 중요하다라고 했는데 그렇게 하면 개인의 권리라는 게 침해될 위험이 너무 크다라고 지금 주장을 하고 있고요.
네.
오히려 경찰력을 더 보강해야 된다라는 얘기를 하고 있고 사실 정부가 이런 막강한 권력을 갖는 거를 이웃 국가들이 반대했다는 사례를 들었네요.
네, 이제는 마무리 토론인데요. 이제 반대팀이 먼저 마무리를 하는군요. 들어보죠.
And also how this is not how they can justify by weighing the costs and benefits breaching these rights, which will in the end lead to the breaching of the rights to life by just simply stating that the right to life overrides all other rights such as privacy or bodily integrity. Therefore, we believe that our team has taken home this debate. We have three major clashes in this debate today. The first clash was about public security, and the second clash was about preventing information leakage, and the last clash was about the crime investigation process and how it is supposed to be investigated. So the first clash about public security. The Prime Minister came up to the podium and gave no elaboration, and he simply stated the status quo, which he surprisingly was able to misunderstand. The status quo does not lack public security because there's no DNA database, because there's no super high-tech technology that we can use to investigate these crime scenes. It is because there's not enough well-trained policemen. We believe that they cannot say that we are already training policemen well, and they cannot say that this is not a mutually exclusive policy because the policemen are not trained well, as we have explained in our previous speeches. In the cases of the Suwon murder incident, we can see that the police did find the evidence and they did find who the criminal was. The fact that why this incident became an issue was because the police was not able to catch the criminal even when they knew who he was. This is because they lack the appliance ability of the proof to the prosecution. We believe that this is why there's not enough well-trained policemen. This is exactly why we need to invest more in training these policemen and not investing in trying to violate the individual rights of the civilians. And so, and then the second speaker came up and said that DNA evidence will improve crime investigation, and that evidence discovery was the issue, which he already proved was not. And his only reply to our rebuttal was that the rights to life overrides all other minor rights, such as privacy and bodily integrity. But he never proved how databases actually preserve the right to life, and did not reply to the fact that these minor rights being infringed will lead eventually to the infringement of the right to life. Moving on to the second clash about preventing information leakage. The NFS is a totally independent organization, so it's safe. That's what the government whip came up and said. And we believe that if we had this trusty NFS to rely on in the first place, how did the government, both of the U.S. and of Korea, how are they hacked to federal and confidential documents by an individual in the first place? We would like to ask this question. We did ask this question, and this is only providing more space to attack an individual by using their personal information against them. And moving on to the last clash, the crime investigation progress, we have clearly stated that the judicial court giving a warrant to the policeman, then allowing the police to investigate, and after all that, the judge makes the decision. We believe that this is the right way, and that the government team only going for efficiency will result in leaving more room for abuse and a higher percentage of being able to frame a citizen. And also, this is putting the citizen in a very inferior and endangered position, again, where the government is against them, where the government is not protecting them, but only suspecting them and putting them in a list in a computer where they can search. And if their DNA happens to be scanned in a crime scene, then they are automatically suspects of this crime. They are automatically enemies of the government. And we believe that this is not the way to promote security. Therefore, we oppose this motion. Thank you very much.
네, 이렇게 해서 반대쪽의 마무리 토론 들어봤고요. 3분 동안 이어졌죠.
예. 그래서 지금 찬성팀에서는 범죄 해결을 위해서 이런 전국적인 데이터베이스를 도입해야 된다는 거에 대해서 지금 반대팀은 지금 그 문제 해결이 오히려 경찰력 문제 아니냐 데 포커스를 맞추고요. 그래서 법적인 수사 제도를 더 강화해야 된다. 무고한 시민이 오히려 DNA만 조사해서 피해받는 거는 온당치 않다라고 주장을 하고 있네요.
So, ladies
그럼
and
찬성팀의
gentlemen,
마무리
following the
발언입니다.
opposition side's today logic of having that saying that we have to punish everyone who illegally possesses the personal information of others. We have to punish the people who work in barbershops, ladies and gentlemen. They all possess your DNA in the sense that they possess strands of your hair. And ladies and gentlemen, they kept questioning us about how we were not elaborating enough on the issues of how this will solve the problem. But ladies and gentlemen, we did. The second speaker spoke for 6 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, about how this will solve the problem and how 100,000 cases have been solved through the implementation of this policy. And ladies and gentlemen, I advise the opposition to sincerely listen better to our policies when we're talking about this so that they could engage better in the sense of making a better debate. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have 3 major points that we take that leads to us taking the debate home today. First of all, the responsibility of the government. Second of all, the morality of the government. And third of all, the misunderstandings that rose from the opposition side. Now, first of all, the responsibility of the government. Ladies and gentlemen, the opposition side is taking chances in promoting national security. We have proven to you through my first argument, through my second argument, and through the Deputy Prime Minister's argument that the right to live, ladies and gentlemen, is a right above any other rights. And ladies and gentlemen, by them saying that right to privacy is very important, we say that they're taking chances in the national security when there can be methods to save millions of people, ladies and gentlemen. And we have proven to you how this policy is effective in solving the problem by giving you real statistics, which they have replied to with none. Now, ladies and gentlemen, moving on to the second part about morality. Ladies and gentlemen, so what they're doing basically is allowing criminals to get away. Ladies and gentlemen, we have never stated that we will abandon the current judicial system and just look at DNA and just say that that person is a suspect. We said that this will aid the current system in finding out who the criminal is faster. But ladies and gentlemen, so what they're proposing basically is them saying that it will just keep the current status quo and them not utilizing the police force, them not utilizing the current technology that we already have. They're basically letting the people get away, ladies and gentlemen. And we believe that that is not something that is not something a responsible and moral government should do. And third of all, the misunderstandings that arose from this. Ladies and gentlemen, they kept questioning us about the security of the NFS. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to tell you that it has never been hacked up to this stage. And we believe that it is very trustworthy in terms of its defense. And ladies and gentlemen, we are not, as I have said in the second point, we're not believing that DNA is almighty. We're not believing that DNA information is the only thing that will solve the problem. But we believe that it is an effective aid in solving the problem that arise from this society and are of urgent need. And ladies and gentlemen, we believe that by opposition telling us that we're making everyone potential criminal, they, ladies and gentlemen, lack the understanding of our policy, first of all. Second of all, they're being immoral and irresponsible because they're taking chances and letting the people get away. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, by the end of the day, we have proven to you why this government provides more security to the people and focuses on more major values such as the right to life. And therefore, we take this debate home. Thank you.
네, 이렇게 해서 토론회 자체는 끝이 나게 됐는데요. 마지막 발언 어떻게 보셨습니까?
찬성팀에서는
네.
이 DNA 데이터베이스를 만든다고 해서 기존의 사법제도, 사법수사제도를 우리가 완전히 폐지하겠다는 건 아니다라는 입장을 밝혔고요. 그리고 NFS의 그 보안 철저히 할 수 있다. 그리고 이게 DNA만 가지고 수사한다는 게 아니라 이게 하나의 아주 효과적인 수단인 거고 실제로 DNA 검사를 통해서 해결된 건수를 우리가 이야기하지 않았느냐라고 해서 다시 한번 자기들의 입장을 잘 마무리를 했네요.
네, 이제 심사위원들이 심사를 하게 되는데요. 총 9명이 심사를 하게 되는데 굉장히 지금 힘들 것 같아요. 찬반측 양측이 다 잘해줘서요. 교수님 전체적으로는 어떻게 평가를 하시겠습니까?
찬성팀에서는 이게 지금 정책 적인 그런 그 주제인데요.
네.
왜 이 정책이 필요한지, 그래서 이것을 시행하기 위해서 어떤 체제를 그 하면서 이제 NFS라고 국가수사대 같은 걸 도입하겠다라는 것도 제시를 했고요.
네.
그래서 이거를 했을 때 어떤 효과가 있을 거다라는 까지 아주 논리적으로 잘 그 제시를 했습니다. 반대쪽에서는 그런 그 과정에서 올 수 있는 그 윤리 문제, 인권이라든지 어떤 개인정보 침해라든지 이런 거를 가지고 공격을 효과적으로 했어요. 그래서 지금 찬성팀, 반대팀 준비를 아주 잘했네요.
네.
이 지금 주제가 가지고 있는 주제가 학생들에게 요구하는 그 쟁점을 잘 파악을 하고 찬성팀은 찬성팀대로 반대팀은 반대팀대로 최선을 다해서 지금 서로 입장을 피력을 했어요.
네.
지금 심판들이 참 그 어려울 것 같습니다.
네, 이제 잠시 뒤에 결과가 나오게 되는데요. 그 심사위원들은 어떤 점을 가장 중요하게 평가를 하게 되나요?
예, 지금 이 심사 기준을 보면은
네.
크게는 이제 스타일이라고 해서요.
네.
이 연설을 하는 태도라 그럴까요? 그런 거를 보는 항목이 하나 있고요. 그 다음은 내용입니다. 실제 이제 전달해야 되는 내용을 얼마나 논리적으로 정확하게 전달을 했나 하는 거를 보고요. 그 다음에 전략이라는 부분이 있는데요. 세 사람이 하다 보니까 각자 자기 하고 싶으면 얼마나 하면 안 되거든요. 세 사람이 논점을 어떻게 잘 유기적으로
네.
연결을 해서 팀 전체로 그 입장을 잘 전달했나 하는 걸 보는 이 세 가지가 있습니다. 그래서 지금 두 팀은 스타일 면에서는 비슷비슷하지 않을까 싶어요. 근데
네.
아까 그 질문하신 것 중에 상대 팀이 질문하는 그걸 받아야 되나 받지 말아야 되나 그거를 뭐 꼭 받아야 된다도 아니지만 사실 그걸 잘 이용을 하면 자기 논점을 더 강력하게 제시를 할 수도 있고요.
네.
또 한 개에서 두 개 정도를 받았을 때는 자기가 사실 그만큼 여유 있다는 걸 또 보여줄 수 있기 때문에 그걸 굉장히 긍정적인 그 효과가 있을 수 있습니다. 그래서
네.
지금 찬성팀에서는 그걸 다 받았던 것 같아요. 근데 아까 반대팀에서는 질문을 안 받았던 게 있는데 글쎄요. 그 이제 심판들이
네.
아마 반영을 하시 싶습니다.
근데 궁금한 게 의회식 토론이라는 것이 이렇게 익숙하지 않기 때문에 잘 모르시는 분들도 계실 거고요. 저도 봐도 이제 좀 궁금했던 게 이렇게 테이블을 두드리는 그런 걸 많이 볼 수가 있었거든요.
예.
이거는 뭐 박수를 치는 의미라고요.
예.
네.
지금 이제 이 토론이 학생들이 물론 이제 이건 결선 같은 경우는 주제가 미리 공지가 돼서 준비해온 것도 있겠지만 이게 준비된 대로만 다 할 수가 없거든요. 상대 팀이 이제 어떤 또 쟁점을 제기를 하느냐에 따라서
네.
자기들이 준비해온 거를 바꿔야 될 경우도 있어요. 그래서 한쪽 손에 항상 펜을 들고 씁니다. 그러다 보니까 박수 칠 일이 있어도 두 손으로 다 못 치잖아요. 그러니까 이제 한 손으로 테이블을 너무 시끄럽지 않게 이렇게 두드리면서 격려의 표시를 이제 할 수가 있습니다.
네. 근데 오늘 그 팀원들을 보면 이제 한 팀당 3명씩 구성이 되어 있지 않습니까? 다 중학교 3학년생이거든요.
예.
어떻게 보면 근데 저희가 고등학생 토론 대회를 이제 중계해 드렸지만 그렇게 큰 실력 차이를 못 느끼겠거든요.
예,
그렇게
그랬을까?
보면은 중학교 3학년이 더 유리하지 않을까. 물론 중학생이라면 다 참여를 할 수 있지만 어떻게 보세요?
예, 제가 아까 시작할 때 잠깐 말씀드렸던 것 같은데요. 중학교 대회, 고등학교 대회 저희가 이렇게 분리해서 지금 대회를 진행을 하고 있긴 합니다만은 이렇게 결승에 올라오는 정도의 학생들 실력을 보면 정말 고등학생이랑 중학생이랑 실력 차를 이렇게 구분 짓는다는 게 정말 어렵구나 할 정도로 참 잘하거든요. 그래서 글쎄요, 아무래도 그때 시간이 좀 짧다 보니까 그래도 고등학생들보다는 좀 낫겠죠. 그래서
네.
1분, 2분 차이가 그게 얼마나 되겠나 하실지 모르겠습니다만은 실제로 한번 말씀을 해보시면 알 거예요. 1분 더 이야기한다는 게 그 차이가
그쵸.
엄청나거든요. 지금 이제 2분 정도 고등학생들보다는 짧으니까
네.
고등학생들이 아무래도 좀 낫겠죠.
그렇군요. 근데 그 발언 시간이 이제 6분이지 않습니까?
예.
그 어떤 학생들 경우에는 이제 6분 동안 자기 주장을 다 담으려다 보니까 굉장히 빠른 속도로 얘기를
맞습니다.
해서 조금 알아듣기 힘든 경우도
예.
있었는데요. 그 말의 빠르기는 어떤 게 더 좋은 건가요?
그게 사실은 아주 그냥 빠르게 하기보다는 그것도 이 청중들하고 교감하는 것도 굉장히 중요하거든요. 그게 이제 스타일상의 그 평가하는 데도 들어가 있습니다. 이게 지금 준비된 토론이기 때문에 내가 이 논쟁에서는 이런 논점을 꼭 전달하고 싶어라는 게 있을 거예요. 그러니까 그 욕심에 이제 그 주어진 시간을 다 하려고 정말 속사포로 그냥 막 쏟아내 놓는 게 있는데요. 그것보다는 조금 여유를 가지고 청중들하고 이제 눈맞춤도 하면서 그렇게 전달하는 게 오히려 더 좋죠.
네, 그러니까
네.
일반적으로 자기 주장만 펴는 것보다는 이제 청중들과 같이 교감하고
예,
이런 것도
맞습니다.
굉장히 중요한 요소가
예,
되겠군요.
예.
근데 어떻게 토론회를 준비해야 할까요? 어떻게 하면 토론을 잘하나요? 이런 질문 많이 받으시죠?
예, 예.
어떻게 답해 주시나요?
예, 지금 이 우리 결성 주제도 보시면 아시겠지만
네.
이게 지금 DNA 데이터베이스 구축이라는 게 이게 뭐 어디 상상 속에서 나오는 주제가 아니거든요. 지금 현재 우리 사회에서 사실 굉장히 뜨겁게 논쟁이 되고 있는 그런 주제입니다. 그러면
네.
이 주제에 대해서 토론을 잘하려면 현재 우리 일반적으로 진행되고 있는 그런 어떤 토론의 흐름을 잘 따라가고 있어야 된다는 얘기거든요. 그러니까 시사
네.
문제에 항상 끊임없이 관심을 가지고 보시고 있으시면 결국은 이 토론하는 데 도움이 되시는 거죠.
네. 근데 또 이게 영어로 진행이 되다 보니까 아무래도 좀 뭐 해외에서 살다 온 경험이 많은 학생들이 유리할 것 같다 이런 생각들도 많이 하시거든요.
예.
어떤가요, 실제로?
이게 토론이 이제 한국어가 아니고
네.
영어라는 외국어로 진행이 되기 때문에 물론 이제 영어가 편하면 그만큼 내 생각을 전달하기가 쉬워질 겁니다.
네.
그런데 이제 이게 토론이 단순히 뭐 다 써가지고 와가지고 그냥 뭐 암기한다든지 보면서 읽는 그런 토론이 아니라 어떤 특정 주제에 대해서 내 생각을 정리를 하면서 해야 되는 거기 때문에
네.
언어 실력 못지않게 배경 지식이 있어야 되거든요. 그래서
네.
영어 토론이기 때문에 물론 영어는 잘해야 됩니다라고 말씀드릴 수 있겠습니다만
네.
저는 배경 지식을 굉장히 강조해서 말씀드리고 싶어요.
네, 그렇군요. 그 고등학생 영어 토론 대회 우승팀은 이제 예일대학교에 가서 이제 토론 훈련을 받는다고 했는데 오늘 이제 우승하는 팀들은 어떤 상이
예,
주었나요?
우리 중학생 우승팀들도
네.
올해는 예일대에서
그렇군요.
똑같은 상황에서 그 토론 연수를 받게 돼 있어요.
네, 어떤 팀이 이제 예일대학교에 가게 될지
진짜
좀 궁금해지는데요.
흥미진진한데요. 예.
이제 지금 심사위원들이 거의 심사를 마친 것 같은데요. 현장으로 한번 다시 가보도록 하겠습니다. 네, 이제 찬성팀과 반대팀. 정부가 국가종합 DNA 데이터베이스를 구축해야 한다, 아니다와 관련된 주제로 이제 토론을 벌였습니다. 2박 3일 동안 예선부터 시작해서요.
Now
열기가
I'm
매우
going to make an
뜨겁습니다. 어떤
announcement
팀이
of the
우승했는지 한번
results
들어보죠.
of the third YTN Hoops Junior Youth English Debating Championship. The grand champion of the debate is on a 2-7 decision. Adrenaline on opposition won the grand finals.
네, 지금 들으신 대로 이제 2대7로 아드레날린 팀이 우승을 하게 됐군요. 총
We are going to have
여학생들로만 구성이 된
award
팀인데요.
ceremony, but not this time later. So
네,
that please go back to
반대팀이
sit.
우승을 하게 됐습니다. 네, 이렇게 해서 제3회 중학생 영어 토론회 결승전 우승팀은요, 아드레날린 팀이 선정이 됐다는 거 전해드리겠습니다. 이제 중계방송은 이로써 마치겠고요. 오늘 도움 말씀 주신 한국외국어대학교 통번역대학교 정철자 교수님, 감사합니다.
감사합니다.